A is for American Revolution. Colonists fought England. The war started in 1775 in Boston, Massachusetts. The Patriots wanted their freedom from the King of England. George Washington was the leader of the Patriot side.
B is for the Boston Tea Party. Colonists in Boston dumped tea into the water. They did this because the king was making unfair laws. The king was mad and he closed Boston's port. In Charlestown, colonists had tea for 4 years and they did not use any of the tea.
C is for the Catawba. The Catawba name means river people. The Catawba live in the Piedmont. The river people live by the river. The Catawba traded their own supplies with settlers.
D is for discrimination. Discrimination is when somebody treats one group different from the other. White and black people were treated differently. The schools were different. White kids got the nice new books and black people got the old torn up books. Then they made the Jim Crow laws. The African Americans had to have had their grandfather to vote. Their grandfathers were slaves, so they never got to vote. That's how bad it was.
E is for the executive branch. The executive branch carries out laws for our country and state. The president is the head of the executive branch. The president can approve a law or veto a law. To veto a law means to refuse to approve a law. The executive branch is part of our government.
F is for Fort Sumter. Confederates shot cannons at Fort Sumter on April 12, 1861. The Confederates told the Union to get out, but the Union said no. Some people woke up early in the morning to watch the battle. The Union troops surrendered.
G is for government. The government has 3 branches. The legislative branch makes the laws. Another name for legislative is the General Assembly. The other part of government is the executive branch. The leader of the executive branch is the president. The last part of government is the judicial branch. They decide if the laws are fair or have been broken.
H is for Hernando de Soto. Hernando de Soto was a Spanish explorer. He became rich when he found the Inca in Peru. Hernando was captain of many soldiers. The King of Spain rewarded Hernando by making him the governor of Spain. He had a pretty good life.
I is for Intercoastal Plain Region. The Intercoastal Plain Region looks similar to the Sandhills because it has rolling hills too. This region has half of it covered in forests. This region is the center of the state's cotton production. Crops like wheat and soybeans grow here.
J is for Jim Crow laws. These laws were made to separate African Americans and white people. There were labels that said colored only and white. Jim Crow was a character in a play. The law wanted to insult African Americans.
K is for Battle of Kings Mountain. This battle was fought during the American Revolution. It started in October 1780. The America fought the British. The America won.
L is for legislative branch. The legislative branch makes laws. There are senators and representatives in this branch. There are 2 senators and 6 representatives in the legislative branch. This branch is very important.
M is for Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is the most popular place to visit. Myrtle Beach has a lot of tourism. Tourism grew as an important industry in the Low Country. In Myrtle Beach, you can do a lot of fun things.
N is for New Deal. This was created by one of our presidents named Franklin D. Roosevelt. It was made so people could get a job or get some of the jobs were doctors, carpenters, tours for tourists, or the CCC. The CCC built parks, planted trees, and other outdoors work. When the CCC went to build a park, they are provided food and water.
The CCC stands for Civilian Conservation Corps.
O is for Outer Coastal Plain. It has many rivers. It has many swamps. It is between the inner coastal plain and the coastal zone.
P is for plantations. Plantations are big, huge, and large. Plantations have slaves to do a lot of work. A plantation has an overseer to watch over the slaves. Usually the rich class has plantations.
Q is for quiet slave escapes. Slaves were tired of being treated badly and wanted money. They wanted to be free, so they tried to go to the north. The slaves used songs like "Follow the Drinking Gourd" to help the slaves know to follow the North Star. They traveled at night and used signs like a quilt. They had to have shelter, so some people who hated slavery made this thing called the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad is not a railroad. It is a line of houses.
R is for rural communities. The rural communities are communities with many farms. The houses are small and spaced out. There isn't really many grocery stores nearby. A lot of rural communities have farms. S is for Swamp Fox. Swamp Fox was the leader of the volunteer soldiers. They knew these swamps so well. When they attacked the British, they disappeared into the swamps. His real name was Francis Marion. He was a patriot.
T is for textile mills. South Carolina had the most textile mills in 1902. Railroads connected mills together. In mills, it was very dirty. Most mills had no bathrooms, just a hole. They worked 12 hours a day. Men got paid $5 a week.
U is for Underground Railroad. This was not a real railroad. It was a way for slaves to escape. They wanted to go up north. Sarah and Angelina Grimke helped slaves to escape.
V is for Venus flytrap. The Venus flytrap lives in damp places. It has little flowers and it's small. It grows in South Carolina or North Carolina. It opens its mouth, shuts it, and eats flies.
W is for the wonderful communities of South Carolina. These communities included the urban, suburban, and the rural communities. The urban is a city where lots of people live. The suburban is a community located near a city and doesn't have as many people. The rural is a place in the countryside where there are small towns and very few people.
X is for Extra World Wars. At first, the United States stayed out of World War I, but we got involved, of course. We got involved because while we were sending supplies to armies, Germany attacked our ships. U.S. passengers were killed. U.S. got very angry. Y is for Yamasee. Yamasee is an Indian group. The Yamasee lived where the Georgia and South Carolina's border is today. They built towns along waterways. They lived by hunting, fishing, farming, and gathering food. They traveled by canoe to trade at different villages.
Z is for the zillions of state symbols. There are many of state symbols. The only thing is there are way too many to list. Here are a few state symbols that I really like. One is a spotted salamander, the state amphibian. Another is a striped bass, the state fish. The last one I'm going to tell you about is the state gemstone, the amethyst.